Orla, and I certainly am not using my words to celebrate Europe Day. And I say so because they have completely lost any moral compass, if they ever had one. And we're 2 days off 75 years of the peace declaration by Schuman, and we couldn't be further from that peace declaration. And you present us today with 11 pages of his speech. And I'm going to just intermingle that with Simon Harris, our Tánaiste, saying that sometimes it's difficult to struggle for diplomatic words. But you have no difficulty in condemning Russia, which I agree with. You have absolutely no difficulty using the words relentless brutality of Russia's illegal and unjustified war of aggression. And you point out that you've been to Kyiv. I saw the determination, the dignity and the resilience of the Ukrainian people. There isn't a mention of the resilience of the Gaza people in Palestine. There isn't a mention that journalists can't enter the country. There isn't a mention of what's happening. And let me just quote a tiny bit in my brief period, the World Health Organization. We are breaking the bodies and minds of the children of Gaza. We are starving the children of Gaza because if we don't do something about it, we are complicit in what is happening before our eyes. As a doctor, as a physician, as someone watching more than 1,000 children without limbs and so on. My time doesn't allow me to do this, but it's really important to use words and use them appropriately. 51,000 Palestinians killed, 70% of whom are women and children, and so on. And we get 11 pages of a speech where you urge, and the government urge Israel to show restraint. No condemnation. I don't know who's writing the speeches, but really and truly to present 11 pages and not have a word of condemnation for Israel in the middle of committing genocide on an ongoing basis. What level of bloodshed is required before we move on from we struggle for diplomatic words to actually do something? And we look at Europe, and I have said repeatedly I'm a proud European, have intimate connections with Germany through my family and the German language. I'm not here to protest that I'm European. I'm here to use my very short time to say I'm ashamed to be European with the current leadership, with van der Leyen standing shoulder to shoulder and in solidarity with a war criminal. Somebody who said that Netanyahu made the desert bloom while the Israeli army move in under our watch and with our permission to kill, maim and destroy Gaza. Surely in your 11 pages you might have used some words of condemnation in relation to genocide, Minister. I'm ashamed to be here looking at this in what I'm reading in relation to Palestine. And I don't use my own words because my own words don't suffice anymore. The Red Cross, the situation in Gaza will haunt us for decades because nobody will be able to say we aren't aware. Europe has become a military-industrial complex. The figure has been given of 800 billion to build up a war machine. We are an independent, sovereign state, a republic, a neutral republic that should be using our voice for peace in the world. If we're seriously interested in following on the legacy of Schuman and taking his words at their highest level for a peace project, which I have serious concerns about from day one, because I think that was just the veneer behind something else. But we're in a Europe that's now building up, in the words of the financial columnist Ganesh, who said, we're going to, I'm paraphrasing him, we're going to run down the welfare state to build up a warfare state. Now, I don't think, in all honesty, you could disagree with that, with the amount of money that's gone into the military-industrial complex. A lot more than a shaking of the head is necessary when we're standing as a neutral country, not using one word of condemnation in the same way that we have against Russia. It goes to our credibility as an independent country. It goes to our very being if we can criticise one injustice and not another injustice. It goes to the heart of our neutrality. Míle mágad a las ceann comhairle.